What up everyone, my name is Nightrow and welcome back to some more Final Fantasy 16 out on the last episode. I think I finally got my limit break and I think that was the previous video. I can't remember, it's been a while. Now I previously tried to record this but I had to leave. I had to literally stop literally halfway through the video, so I decided to redo the whole thing. Thank god there was autosave, so I was able to get back to where I was at the beginning. So let's continue with the game.
So what God's forsaken corner of the realm is Sid dragging you off to this time?
Oriflamme.
The holy capital. And what business would you lot having? On second thoughts, I don't want to know.
Okay, so before I even start recording, I went ahead and turned that fire shard into to the flame tongue.
I hear the trading routes leading south have seen more than double the usual traffic. If you ask me, summat foul's brewing, and it ain't Tyre's borbile tea. Oh, just go and see Otto, will ya?
All right.
So during the day that I decided to record, I literally during that day they released something for the Final Fantasy phone game, but I forgot what it was. So,
So you're
oh
really
well.
going through with it? Sid's been talking about bringing down a mother crystal since I've known him. But that's all it's ever been. Talk.
He's convinced it's the right thing to do. We'll be leaving for the capital shortly.
Well, you couldn't have picked a better moment. Seems the hiding the royalists gave him wasn't enough to dampen old Sylvester's spirits. His legions are on the march again. This time, due south.
Another war.
All as the great Grieger wills it. Bloodthirsty little miss, that one. That's God's for you, innit? Still, might work to our advantage on this occasion. Wars breed chaos. On the front lines, and at home. With a fair wind behind them, a handful of like-minded ne'er-do-wells could melt into the back alleys of Oriflamme. No trouble. It's making it to the capital that's the problem.
The checkpoint.
That's right. Anyone travelling in or out of Oriflamme has to go through Northreach. Lucky for you, I might just know of a way.
This.
Well, no, not that. That gets you an audience with the Dame. And it's the Dame who'll see you safely through Northreach. I'll send the Stolas in the morning. Let her know you're coming. We go way back. And she's a true friend of the cause. I'm sure you'll get on like a house on fire.
That's good of you, but who is this dame, and where will I find her?
She's the proud proprietress of Northreach's foremost house of ill repute, the Vale. And she's quite a woman, if you know what I mean.
A woman. Right.
Don't go blinding her with your charm now, lad. I'll be expecting a full report when you get back.
Okay, so at this point, this is where I'm able to get more side quests, I think, or at least keep track of it. You already know about this, so what I don't know is...
Now to find Gav.
Yeah, let's do this. I need to talk to this guy.
Oh, you're the new lad, aren't you? Goat at your service. Well, at the hideaway service anyway. Otto's put me in charge of reading through the reports sent in by our allies and picking out any problems that might warrant the attention of the curse breakers. Or any other willing volunteers. And there's no shortage of problems, I can tell you. Or maybe I don't have to. I'll warrant a strapping lad like you's got people begging him for help wherever you go. Anyway, if you're ever interested in taking a look over the list, just say the word. Reckon you could probably tick off the odd thing here and there. They say little acts of kindness are their own reward. But if that ain't enough, these have got proper bounties on them and all.
So let's take a look.
Look.
Okay, so what I don't know is if once I accept it, do I keep them or do I lose them at some point? Wait, I think I had to go directly there and then. Okay, they're both next to each other. So I kind of want to do that in my own time, but what if I end up losing them later on? YOLO. I'll make a save right now just in case. Since the for channel. Oh. Okay. Let's see here. I'm not able to upgrade that, so that one looks useful. This is just like a dash attack, which is also pretty good in my opinion. But I think I'm gonna save up for Rising Flame so I can do another upgrade on it. I'm this close, so I might as well just keep saving. Oh wait. Save the game. There we go.
Well, 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 someone's in a hurry.
Just following orders.
Funny, I never took you for the type.
Can't all be as obedient as you, Gav.
Eh?
Fine day for a little mischief, wouldn't you say?
Is this all of us?
Actually, Gav won't be coming.
Just the three of us, then?
Drake's is the keystone of the Empire. Oriflamme's in chaos, yes, but that doesn't mean we can march an army through her gates. The fewer our numbers, the better our chances of going unnoticed. And should that plan fail, well, we have our icons to fall back on.
Sid, I don't know if I can. Ifrit still seems to come and go as he pleases.
Ordinarily, priming an icon comes naturally to a dominance. But then, you are no ordinary dominance.
Well, he's still got the blessing of the Phoenix, doesn't he?
Not to mention what he sucked out of Garuda. And did I ever tell you about how he was once the greatest shield in Rosaria? You know, I reckon he could probably cause a path out of the capital on his own if need be.
Let's try not to find out.
We're less likely to be spotted if we travel separately. I'll meet you in Northreach in a few days. You two behave now.
You know, Gav reminds me a lot of Mustario from Final Fantasy Tactics, so the only thing missing is for him to be using a gun. But I don't think there's any gun in this game as far as I know. Okay, let me go ahead and take this side quest so I can keep it with me. Is there a way for me to keep track of them? Yes, I do.
Sid and Jill before this dame finds me.
Ah, you're Sid's man, if I'm not mistaken. Couldn't trouble you for some assistance, could I?
That depends. What do you need?
Some new bearers from Oriflamme just arrived, and it cost Master Quinton a pretty penny to convince their owner to part with them. Man must have been a bloody tyrant. Can't get a peep out of them, try as I might.
They're probably terrified of you.
You're probably right. Dare say it'd take a bearer like yourself to open them up. So, will you have a word with them? Help them settle in?
I can try.
That'll do me. Tell them they're safe, and that if they need anything, they just have to ask.
I'll let them know.
Appreciate it. They're sitting over there, taking a long overdue breather, looks like.
There we go, got the quest. So I'm just gonna leave it as that, and I'm not gonna do anything with them just yet.
did the grocer know his daughter had been stealing
Hodge.
onto the vineyard to see the lad?
I think I went this way. Yep.
Sun's
Going
setting
here, then
fast.
up. Let's see. Okay, there's another side quest over here. I think I'm able to take it if I take this path. Kinda wanna go quickly here. Oh wait, I think that's downstairs, right? No way, I can just go down here. And then I can pick up the quest.
Master Quentin will never forgive me. I want no trouble. Wait, that's... Oh, glory to Grieger. You were the hanged man. I took you for a rogue. If you're a friend of Master Quentin's, then perhaps you'll help me. His vineyard, Lostwing's pride and joy, has been beset by a plague of giant wasps.
And you need someone to solve your pest problem.
I do indeed. I've never seen them so far from the forest, nor so mean for that matter. I suppose the smell's got 'em worked up. And little wonder. This'll be the finest crop we've ever known if the fiends don't eat it first. I tried chasing them off myself, but they won't flee from the likes of me. And if I don't bring those grapes in for pressing soon, Master Quentin will have my guts for garters. You look like you can handle that blade of yours. Will you put it to use for a comrade in need? Please, rid us of these wasps so I can be about my business.
All right. I'll see to it.
Oh, thank you. You'll find them over at Gotan's Bales on the edge of town. And hurry, Lostwing needs those grapes.
You know what? I think that what I'm gonna be doing is, whenever I see one of these side quests, I'm just gonna cut out the whole cutscene thing with them, because it feels like they're like some of them are a bit too long. So what I'm gonna be doing is, I'm just gonna cut it out completely from the video itself, unless you guys want me to show it to you guys. If that's the case, then I'll just leave it then. As for the length of the video, I really don't mind how long it is, since it's Final Fantasy. Most Final Fantasy games are really long, especially when it comes to progression through the story. So let's get to it. Now, I still remember where I was left off from the last time I played. Well, when I was doing my previous recording, and I decided to redo it. Thank God I did.
Let's make this quick.
Okay. Trying to remember the controls. That's just a wyvern. I already learned my lesson the last time I recorded. That wyvern's just there for no reason. Makes no sense for it to be there in the first place, though. There's some chocobo. That's the... I don't know what that is. You just realized, do I still have that, yeah, I do. Good.
North Reach.
Working.
It's over.
That's what you get.
That's enough.
And I leveled up. There we go. To fucking keep this on. Okay, so I made it. I already know where she is.
Used to speak of a brothel. But
Yep.
that was north of a checkpoint.
Wait.
I hope the dame has friends in the south.
Oh, so wait, is the Dane like the owner of a brothel or something like that?
Each one is handcrafted from
Or is she a member of the, like an employee of the brothel?
A moment, my lady.
A moment? I doubt you could afford even that much of my time. Branded.
My mistake.
No, mine. Upon reflection, you don't have the scent of a branded about you. The flowers. Otto always did know how to please me. More than Sid ever did anyway. Do you think you could please me, Clive?
You're the dame.
Let us leave such impersonal titles to my less preferred clientele. You can call me Isabel. Otto assured me I could trust you. I can trust you, can't I?
You can trust me, yes, but... why would you...
Help you? Because that's what we do. Long ago, Sid did me a kindness when no one else would. I have never forgotten that. Without it, I would not be where I am today. And so, I make it a point to do the same whenever possible. Which brings us here. To the final obstacle between you and whatever it is you seek in the holy capital. I fear the guards are not likely to let a masterless bearer pass unmolested, unless...
Unless...
Unless, of course, his master deigned to appear. Yes, that will do nicely. But I shall expect a favor in return.
Wait, what?
Bill will most likely not be happy with this.
Fruit's not getting any fresher.
What the hell are you doing?
Tut tut. We cannot have people thinking I tolerate disobedience from my branded.
The men who gave me this are no more my masters than you are. But... it's not as if I can hide it.
From the moment you acquired it, that brand has done naught but take. But today, it is going to give you exactly what you want. Just play along.
Madame, back to the Vale already?
But of course, we must make ready to welcome you, my dear.
And who might this be?
Why, my new escort. The streets aren't safe for a girl, what with all the royalists about.
Well, don't work him too hard.
Well, that rather depends on you now, doesn't it? I'll see you all at sunset.
Oi, hold up. Another fucking branded. Well, you're lucky you're with the dame. Now get out of my sight, filth.
And they're that dumb enough to even let me go through without proper paperwork or something.
That wasn't so bad.
Wasn't so bad. They might have recognized me.
But they didn't. And even if they had, they wouldn't have done anything about it. The gentlemen of the garrison are some of my best customers. We have an arrangement, as do you and I. Now, If you'd care to follow me, we can speak more
Oh
on the
damn,
Vale.
it's getting dark.
Doesn't seem like I have much of a choice.
Okay, so from this point forward, I have no clue what's gonna happen. So let's just continue playing through the game. Okay, there we go. Okay, make for the Vale.
And if anyone requests her company, tell them she is feeling unwell.
Madame, you look stunning.
As do you, my dear.
Shall I have one of the girls draw a bath?
That won't be necessary. Clive, my darling. Welcome to the Vale.
Thank you for seeing me through the gates, my lady. I am in your debt.
Well, that was the whole point, wasn't it? And I told you, it's Isabel. Whatever wound you so tight, I wonder. It's certainly not Sid's influence.
You, mentioned a favor. What is it you'd have me do? I don't want to keep my companions waiting.
If you mean Sid and the girl, you needn't worry. They have yet to reach the checkpoint. Yes, Otto asked me to help them as well. But to answer your question, I need you to find someone for me. One of my girls. Tatienne has been gone for several days now, having left no word of explanation. And I began to fear the worst.
I feel as if I've spent my whole life searching for people. Though I can't say I'm any good at it.
I trust you'll do your best. Oh, and take this. Proof of that trust. And hopefully enough to keep prying eyes from looking too closely at that handsome face of yours. Now, I have matters to attend to at the Iron Flagon. If you find anything, ask for me there.
Do this.
I should probably start here.
Okay, so there's more side quests to pick up.
You wear the dame's brooch. She must trust you.
Enough to have me look for one of your colleagues. A woman by the name of Tatienne.
She's still missing then. Oh, if only I'd comforted her.
You saw her before she disappeared.
The day before, she was in tears. She'd lost her comb, a gift from the dame. It wasn't anything fancy, but you could tell it meant the world to her. You see, Tatienne was an orphan, and she looked upon the dame as a mother, as do we all.
So she was upset.
And I didn't lend her my shoulder. But perhaps someone else did. Tatienne shared a room. Her chambermaid may have seen something. She's over there, sitting by the pond.
Thank you. Let's see what her chambermaid
Oh
can tell
yeah.
us then.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my wall scroll of lightning is not there, mostly because it just keeps falling off from the wall, from the door itself.
Escort the girls have been talking about. And you've already been sent off on an errand, eh? Poor boy. He'll be knackered before the real work begins later on tonight.
I'm told you share a bedchamber with Tatienne. Did she say anything to you before?
Before she went missing. Only that she needed to meet with someone. She did mention a name, but I know exactly who she meant.
You do?
Lad from the garrison. Annoying little shit. Spent every guil he earned on Tatienne, and picked fights with anyone else who tried to buy her time. Followed her around like a lost puppy. Tatienne was flattered at first, but it didn't take long for her to get scared. She thought about saying something, but the Dame was so proud of her for how much she was bringing in, and she didn't want to let her down.
This man from the garrison. Did you ever see him?
Of course I did. He tried to sneak into our room enough times. Slimy sod's got a scar over one eye. Claims he got it in battle.
You've been very helpful.
Don't let him get away with this. Find him, and you'll find her.
Yeah, but where exactly?
A man from the garrison. Seems a trip to the barracks is in order.
Okay, first let me go ahead and pick up some of those side quests, and then we'll go directly towards the next spot.
It's not been half a moon since Sergeant's got it in for us two. As if... Where's your commanding officer, Branded? Don't you know the training grounds are for real soldiers?
Well, you lost or something? Sorry, but the Imperial Guard's got no use for your kind. The infantry always needs more bodies, though.
I'm just passing through.
I don't bloody believe it. The bastard's wearing the moon and stars.
That'll be why he's strutting about like he owns the place.
The Dame laughed when we offered her our protection. You reckon this prick's really worth a couple of the Emperor's finest?
I dare say there's ways of finding out. How about it, Branded? Care to show us how you earned that brooch?
I'd rather not.
Oh, no doubt. Only chivalrous souls that we are, Robin and I need to know the Dame's being properly looked after.
Fine. If it'll put your mind at ease.
Oh, and just so you know, I won't be holding back. I suggest you don't either. Take a moment to get ready if you need it. Wouldn't want you whining about an unfair fight.
Heard the bones fell favourably. To the Vale, then.
I don't know how a bearer came by the moon and stars, but thank goodness I found you. Can I trust you to be discreet?
About what?
About this. About what I wish to ask of you. About the fact that I, a humble creature, assist the Dame of the Vale in her endeavors. As unlikely as it may seem, there are those within the upper echelons of Samberquois society who find the Empire's treatment of bearers to be barbaric.
All right. But what do you want from me?
This town is carried upon the backs of its bearers, and yet many would see their servants starve. Not for the want of coin, simple fare cost little more than a pittance, but to revel in the suffering of others, a simple act of cruelty. Contemptible though it is, my countrymen would sooner cut off their noses to spite their faces than see their bearers fed. And despite my best attempts at secrecy, my efforts to dole out comestibles have been noticed. Which brings me to my request. The brand upon your cheek affords you a certain freedom, a freedom I could sorely use.
Fine. What do you need me to do?
Oh, thank you. An extra meal may not seem like much, but it will make all the difference. Here, deliver these, but keep them hidden. Quickly now. What food I can provide goes where the need is greatest. and today that happens to be the barracks. 3 bearers, overworked and underfed, not permitted a moment's rest.
It's no wonder so many die before their time.
Tragic, true, but do not let anger make you careless. People will view this act of mercy as an undermining of the Empire's authority. Be discreet for both our sakes, and for the sake of those we feed. Oh, and when you're finished, a word in the ear of one of the Dame's girls would be appreciated.
You won't be staying then?
I'm afraid not. I am expected back in the capital, and have already risked much speaking with you this long.
Crystal's curse is bad enough. We can't let people starve as well.
Excuse me, you there? The gentleman with the sword? I cannot help but notice you bear the moon and stars. So you are an associate of the Dame's? Might I trouble you for some assistance? You'll be rewarded, of course.
And who exactly would I be assisting?
Oh, forgive me. I am Etienne, a humble merchant, though fortunate enough to count the Dame among my acquaintances. I have business beyond these walls, but the guards have grown somewhat suspicious of my comings and goings of late. I was hoping someone might be kind enough to go in my stead. And who better than someone in the employ of the Vale's proprietress? Would you be willing to help a fellow in his hour of need?
Why not?
Marvelous. The task is simple enough. Pass through the gate and deliver packages to a few of my most valued clients. There are 3 in total: a grocer, an apothecary, and a distiller. You need only mention that the items you carry are fresh from the master's table.
Nothing dangerous, I hope.
Why, of course not. Merely trifles which folk beyond the checkpoint are keen to get their hands on. And though I cannot prevent you from peeking, I advise that you don't. Strongly advise.
Heard the bones fell favourably to the Veiled.
Okay, then as we continue.
With a scar over his eye.
Looking for a man? Does this look like a brothel, Branded? Fuck off.
Hold your tongue. He wears the Dame's brooch. One word from him and the Vale's doors will be barred to us for good.
There's only one man in the garrison with a dodgy eye. His name's Yannick. I haven't seen him around lately, though.
On account of him being in war. Yannick left a few days back. Said he had dealings with a merchant there.
The Dame thanks you.
That does not sound good.
Village on the road to Oriflamme. I should let Isabel know where I'm
Like,
headed.
the guy is with a girl from the brothel, and then about something about a merchant. That does not sound good at all one bit.
Clive, tell me you bear good tidings.
That remains to be seen.
Oh, Tatienne, you could have told me.
This Yannick. The soldiers I spoke to believe he's in the village of Moor. According to them, he claimed to have some business with a merchant there. Though that wouldn't explain his continued absence.
And you plan on traveling to Moor to ascertain the truth?
Isn't that what you want?
Oh, it is, but I fear sending you there may cause more harm than good. The people of Moor are rather set in their ways. You'll find they have little love for bearers, and they will not hesitate to report one such as you to the constabulary. There is a man in Moor who owes me a favor. More than one, in fact. His name is Bertrand, and he works at the stables. Tell him I sent you.
I shall return as soon as I find something.
Okay, so I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm gonna go eat some dinner real quick, and we'll be back. I mean, we'll be continuing with the playthrough. Okay guys, I'm back. I finished eating some dinner and I decided to put up my old ring lamp that I bought a long ass time ago. Now that I think about it. Let me do something real quick. I wonder, does this make any difference? Nah, doesn't do anything. Yeah, at least this one it works better, I guess, than the ring lamp and the camera itself.
The markets are up very...
Now, I kind of wish I could make this a little bit brighter. I guess that's good enough. Let's continue. Gotta rescue Tatiana. Don't know where she is, though.
Oriflamme, how many bearers suffer
Oh.
to keep your granaries full?
That's a different color chocobo. Now, I completely forgot, like, while I was eating, I was thinking, I wonder, are there any, like, type of decorations for our microphones? Like, something you can just hang up there? Like, I'm really curious about that. Okay, so up ahead there's gonna be 2 more side quests, which I'm gonna be picking up as I go. How long this video is going? Either way, I still need to cut off the part where I was picking out the side quests plus the time I went on my break. Also, I'm hoping that the audio is good enough, like for the in-game audio.
Here, now!
Fuck you, guy.
You're late. What kept you?
Late for what?
Did they tell you nothing? A wild beast is savaging my boy. Well,
Good point.
Don't just stand there gawping. Rescue him.
All right, where is he?
My, I see they've sent me a branded with a spine for a change. He's over that way, towards the coast. Go, and see that you kill the beast.
I'll do that later. Let's hope that your kid is dead by then, because it's your own fault for not doing your job yourself.
For someone whose son's in mortal danger, he didn't seem all that worried. Something's not right here. I need to be careful.
Okay, can jump over the wall. Who are you?
Have you seen my Chloe?
Ooh.
I let her out of her pen while I did my chores, but she hasn't come back yet. I think she's lost. Please, can you help me look for her?
I can't promise I'll find her, but I'll try. Describe her to me.
She has beautiful white hair. She lets me stroke her when I'm sad. She's ever such a good girl. So quiet and kind. And she likes walking in the wheat. I know the fields are big, but she's never got lost before. Oh, she must be starving too. She hasn't eaten anything since yesterday. It is my job to feed her.
In that case, let's not keep her waiting.
First of all, what is Chloe? Second, how big is she? Also,
That's a lot of field to search. With a little luck, someone might have seen her.
let's hope that it's not dead by the time I get to it.
Are as intolerant as Isabel says. It's no wonder the Empire never sent my unit here.
Weren't expecting any new branded until the new moon. Don't think he's
This is somewhere around this area. So the area is not that big.
All that clean? You good-for-nothing sluggard!
Slacker. Then what are you, you hoe?
If even a grain...
Oh, there we go.
Are you Bertrand? The dame sent me.
Sounds about right. Only time I hear from her is when she wants something. Well, go on then. What is it?
One of her courtesans has gone missing, and I need to find her. A soldier who may have information on her whereabouts is rumored to have come here to meet with a trader.
Many traders stop to peddle their wares on their way to the capital, but only one's been seen quarreling with a soldier.
Is he still here?
The trader? Oh, yeah. Stubborn sod stood his ground till the soldier got tired of shouting, from what I hear. If you seek him out, keep your head down. Fact is, folks round here would sooner hang a Branded than help him. And that's even with the dame's brooch for protection.
Understood.
Yeah, I'd like to see them try.
What's this? A Branded? Where's your master? Must I call for the constable?
I come to you from Northreach, at the behest of the dame. Perhaps you've heard of her.
Why, of course I have. I am the good lady's servant. What is it that she requires of me?
Rumor has it you were seen arguing with a soldier some few days ago. A soldier with a scar over his eye.
Yes, that's right. He had a comb which he claimed was an antique. Said he wanted to trade it for a newer one. But old though it was, an antique it most certainly was not, as I told him. Nevertheless, he insisted that it was of great value and was quite vehement about my appraisal. I stood firm, however, and for all his bluster, he still purchased a new comb, albeit an inexpensive one.
And do you know where he went after that?
My customers aren't usually in the habit of telling me whither they are bound, but as it happens, this one did. Yonder ruins, strange as it may sound.
My thanks.
Not at all. I would do anything for the dame. Anything. Be sure and tell her, won't you, that I was helpful. I mean, most helpful.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get the picture here. The guy stole the girl's comb, and then he's trying to sell it off to buy a new one for the girl. He went to a lot of trouble for them, for one girl.
It smells of death here, Torgal. Wolves.
Yeah.
We can't let them get any closer to the village. It's over.
There you go. Either the guy's dead or she's dead. And I think they're both dead.
Bodies. A man and a woman. Well, the wolves have been busy. But the blood is long dry. So it is you, Tatien.
If that's true, then the body next to hers will be Yannick's. The girl Yannick went off to sea every night. He said her name was Tatien.
You. Did you follow me?
Now, why would I do that? Unless you think I'd have good reason to. But no. I was sent to find Yannick. By the looks of things, I have.
We both found who we were searching for.
Nah, he was a jealous sod. Couldn't stand the thought of his woman with someone else. Then one day he sees her with a new comb. Thinks she's got herself a new gallant. Tells the garrison he's going to find the man and kill him. We know it's all talk, but then he disappears off to more for some dealings and doesn't come back.
If you mean this comb, it was a gift from the dame.
If only Yannick had bothered to ask, eh? He might not be rotting on a hill.
I think he meant to ask her something else. He stole the old comb and bought her a new one in the hope they'd wed.
Wed? Where would they have gone? Certainly not back to Northreach with a dame waiting. And we all know what happens to deserters. Tell the dame I'm sorry for her loss. When the lads come to collect Yannick's body, I'll see that Tatienne is delivered to the Vale.
Is that wise?
Oh, there won't be any covering up this mess. The most we can hope for is that the dame doesn't hold it against us. Speaking of which, I saw her in Moor just now. Could you tell her what happened? Might sound better coming from you.
I need to tell Isabel. Perhaps the comb will give her something to remember Tatienne by.
Well, ended up the way I expected. Well, I'd expected more like it ended.
If it was a message that needed delivering, I could have seen to it, milady.
Of course you could, had it not been personal. You are still in one piece, I see. You will be pleased to hear that your companions have arrived. They said they would meet you at a little chapel to the east of here.
Thank you, but you needn't have come all this way just to tell me. I was on my way to see you.
You found her then? I see. My dear Tatienne. It is by no means uncommon for a client to fall for a courtesan. Especially a client who's young and far from home. But rarely do such tales have happy endings.
I found this with Tatienne. I believe it was yours.
Thank you for returning it. I shall see that it has a place on her pyre.
I should go.
Before you do, I have one last gift. A token of my thanks. The Vale counts among its patrons several high-ranking officers of the Imperial Army. According to one of the looser-tongued gentlemen, it would appear that the legions are planning to march south.
Or to mention the same thing.
But did he mention that it was all of the legions? This is no mere skirmish. Were I to guess, I'd say the Emperor planned to abandon the capital. But that couldn't possibly be true now, could it? Take care, Clive.
I will. And thank you again.
Okay, let's see. So now I just have to head east. If only had a ride, but I don't.
Weren't expecting any new branded until the new moon.
Now, I think we're just gonna continue recording a little bit more, since not much happened during this whole time. Mostly just talking, doing some side quests, and just literally just talking with the dame and just finding out what happened to one of our girls. So, let's go ahead and continue till something good happens.
Any trouble on the way?
None worth mentioning.
As I was telling Jill, it's worse than I thought. The capital's crawling with soldiers.
And here I am, the deserter come home.
Which is why we'll be taking the back door.
Oh god.
Cheer up, you two. Can't think of a safer place in the Empire than a... brothel.
Really? Doesn't seem very private.
Fucking serious.
So then, how do we proceed?
We'll be using the glass gate. Tonight, just after sunset.
Where the shards are loaded for transport. That is one of the most heavily guarded points in all of Sambrek.
But not the most, which is a start. Besides, I know a shortcut straight to the heart.
A shortcut. And how exactly did you come to know about this fatal chink in the Empire's armor?
Let's just say I may have attempted something similar before. And may have ended up running for dear life after being discovered by Bahamut, but that's not important.
Sid, if the Mother Crystals truly are the cause of the Blight...
If? You wound me, Jill.
What I'm trying to say is, if the powers that be know all of this, why do they sit idle and allow it to continue?
In case you haven't noticed, the God-fearing people of this realm and their pious leaders care for but one thing, themselves. And they'll do whatever it takes to hold on to power. The rest of us are just a means to an end. The moment you raise your voice against them, you're decried as an outlaw, clapped in irons and slung in a cell to rot.
An outlaw.
Whoever controls the crystals controls the realm. But our kind can wield magic without them. To our rulers, we must seem the most convenient of tools, and the most dangerous.
But what makes them think they have the right to use us? To leave us to die when our bodies are spent?
Does a nobleman weep for a broken mug? A torn tunic? Our fate means nothing to them. No, this isn't a battle you can win with words. Believe me, I've tried, but nothing ever gets through. The world is simply not ready to listen. So to hell with talking. If they won't give us a say, we'll decide our fates another way. You can't blame a man for wanting to bring an end to all this, can you?
I can't. But what of all the people you mean to rob of their comforts? Are you happy for them to call you outlaw?
Sid the Outlaw. Aye, that'll do me.
You might at least pretend to take this seriously.
Have a little faith, Jill. Even if you don't think much of my choice of digs. If it means my deeds will be remembered, I'll gladly play the role of villain. But first, we have a gate to crash. And once we're in, there'll be no turning back. So you best make ready. The world won't save itself.
I don't know, man. Like, the more I think about it, the more it's getting to the point in my head where it's like, I don't think the crystal might be the cause. More like he's trying to like push back whatever's causing the blight, or at least trying to resist it, while the crystals are losing power slowly. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm gonna. I don't know. You know what? Let's just continue. Let's continue. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. Once I edit this, I'll really low. Hopefully the lighting on my face cam is good. It's kind of good enough, I guess. Not sure. I haven't used this ring lamp in years.
There are not nearly enough men here.
Then it's fortunate the city guard doesn't take sentry assignment as seriously as you do. This bodes well.
Won't be a first. This may not be such a terrible plan after all.
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
Only that your last secret shortcut was nowhere near as secret as you claimed.
Yeah, but that's half the fun of it. Life's too short for perfect plans. You want a plan that'll keep you on your toes, stop you growing old and complacent.
Worked for you, has it?
Clive, my boy, even life's smallest challenges offer the opportunity to grow and to change. You must embrace these moments. Allow them to suffuse your heart with a deep sense of fulfillment.
Narrowly escaping death at the hands of an enemy is not my idea of fulfillment.
Something wrong?
Not at all. Just wondering if the two of you had finished.
Right. We make for the Mother Crystal's heart as planned. Destroy it and the whole thing should come tumbling down.
And if the passage to the inner sanctum is guarded?
Then we embrace the moment and use it to grow and change.
Well, let's see how that goes.
Come on, this way. Try to stay out of sight.
Try.
Obviously.
Try is the key word here.
Don't worry, the passage is empty.
I just realized.
Not quite empty. Let's get this over with.
Is Torkel being sneaky? Now that I think about it. So, what do we do? Should we go back? Oh, chest. Don't mind if I do. I always like boots. Oh, it's just you. That's kind of disappointing though. Well, I guess it's the only way though. Why I had to jump down?
They're not from the garrison.
I swear this passage used to be secret.
Of course it did.
Perfect plans, Clive. Perfect plan.
So much for that. So I can
Never
use.
stood a chance.
You're welcome.
So I can use Ifrit now with my limit break.
The main tunnel.
That would be my guess. There are sentries everywhere.
Then let's take them down.
And all good things must come to an end. We might have a bit more company from now on.
You know.
To arms, men! Summon the cannoneer!
Wake winds!
And this thing's dead. What now? Big guy.
I think this may be the moment I was talking about earlier.
What have we here? More insects come to be squashed? You will find my mortar and I only too happy to oblige.
To the talker.
Then let's shut him up.
Feel that? Something in the air.
It's ether.
Then we better make this quick.
What now?
Is he?
Yeah, what's...
Bollocks.
What?
Akashic.
The hell does that mean?
Poor wretch.
Take your pity. You'll get none in return. There's nothing left of him but hatred and rage.
Let's end his torment.
Oh my god.
This time.
Oh. So I sort of assumed correctly here. It's literally kind of like the double trigger in Devil May Cry. Like I didn't bother to look before, but now I'm seeing that I'm literally recovering health as I use the limit break. And he's dead. Favor mission dash. Residual of fire ether that have oh, this is an access, sorry, okay.
I'll never get used to that. Akashic or no, he was still a man. A man who drowned in ether.
It's no way for anyone to go.
Come on.
God, duty's a death sentence in this place. Not that Sylvester cares. Breathe deep of the blessing, my friends. Who said being a dominant doesn't have its benefits?
Sid, this is an ether flood.
There shouldn't be one here, should there? The workers couldn't survive this.
Well, it wasn't here last time, I can tell you that. Which means we need to be quick. The ether won't hurt odds, but I'd rather not find out what it's done to everyone else.
I got a bad feeling about this. I just realized, doesn't this stuff gonna affect Torgal or anything? Like, he's just a regular animal. Unless he's a magical beast.
The miners. The gods.
Too far gone. The ether's made monsters of them. All we can do now is put them out of their misery.
Isabel said she thought the Empire might be planning to abandon the capital. Could this be why?
She said you could call her Elizabeth. Never mind. If ever there was a reason to up sticks, an ether flood would be it. Those characters again. They weren't there to keep people out.
They were there to keep the Akashic in.
This way. The more I think about it, the more I want to imagine that maybe Torgal is like something related to Fenrir or something. Like, considering he's not being affected by the ether or anything like that, as far as I know, he could be related to Fenrir.
Doesn't look that far. Right.
I knew it.
Some help.
Hold on.
Jill, you could have done something at least.
Not quite as spry used to be.
I'll take that as a thank you.
Look on the bright side, eh? At least you won't get lost.
Okay, I think this is a good point to stop the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know, guys, what time would you prefer me to upload this video. I should have said this at the beginning of the video like I did in the previous recording, but I didn't because I completely forgot. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like, please hit that like button and subscribe if you want to, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Peace.